Hi friends, in the chapter biomolecule, we have a discussion regarding enzymes. Enzymes is a commonly heard term in our day-to-day life, and what are basically enzymes? How are they different from a catalyst? How do they influence a biochemical reaction? Are the various questions associated with enzyme. So let's try to address these issues in the present video. Okay, so enzymes. So enzymes, biochemically, enzymes are protein. Okay, enzymes are protein, meaning that they are made up of amino acids. Okay, enzymes are made up of amino acids. You know what a protein is. Okay, so enzymes are biochemically protein, meaning that they are made up of a series of amino acid. Okay, with a specified length and specified sequence. Are all enzymes protein? Yes, most of the enzymes are protein. There are some exceptions where the enzymes are basically belongs to nucleic acid, and barring those exceptions, remaining all enzymes biochemically they belong to the category of protein. Okay, right. Now, protein can take a different role. Protein can be of structural role. Example, keratin, collagen. Okay, protein can have a coordination role. Say example, hormones, and protein with catalytic activity will be the enzymes. Okay, so now biochemically we know what enzymes are. So what is this enzymes actually do? So before we get into that, let's take a basic chemical reaction. Okay, let's take a basic chemical reaction. Say A plus B giving rise to C plus D. So this is a reaction, okay, where you have a three component in this. So this component we call is a reactant component, and this we call it as a product component, where A plus B interacts to give rise to C plus D, and this is catalyzed by K. Let's assume it as, keep it as K, and this K is called as a catalyst. This K is called as a catalyst, right? It has got a three component. One is the reactant component, other one is the product component, the other one is the catalyst component, right? And your NCERT 11th standard biomolecule chapter would have given an example of this chemical reaction. It looks barium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid gives you barium sulfate plus water. So I am not balancing the equation, but what I am trying to say is this is the reactant and this is the product. Now this is influenced by the catalyst. Say assume that if I am going to remove the catalyst from this particular reaction, what happens is the product will be formed but at a slower rate, because the rate of product formation is directly proportional to the velocity or the rate of the reaction. Okay, so when I am going to remove this catalyst away from this reaction, the product will be formed but at a pretty slower rate. Friends, with this background, let's have an idea that such chemical reaction, okay, such chemical reaction do happen in our living system, living cell, which comes under the umbrella of metabolic reactions or metabolic pathways. Okay, so those reactions are not just called as a chemical reaction. Since it happens in the living cell, we give a special name, biochemical reaction. Okay, we call it as a biochemical reaction. So you have the same thing. Let's assume A giving rise to B, or A plus B giving rise to C plus D. Okay, again I believe you would have got the term what biochemical reaction means. A chemical reaction happening in living. So the bio assumes the interprets that this is happening in the living cell. Okay, now let's, if you consider this again, it has got a three component. Okay, you have a reactant component. Friends, in biochemical reaction you don't simply call it as a reactant, but you call it as a, give the name, substrate. Okay, you give the term substrate, and this is going to be the product. It retains the same nomenclature, and you have an E. Okay, and this is a biocatalyst. Okay, this is not a normal catalyst. This is a biocatalyst, and this biocatalyst is given the other name, which is the enzyme. Okay, so enzymes are basically biocatalyst. And your NCRT book should have given you, okay, example of biochemical reaction is CO2 plus H2O will give you H2CO3, okay. Carbon dioxide reacting with water giving carbonic acid is an example of a biochemical reaction which happens in presence of an enzyme carbonic anhydrase. Okay, hope this is clear. Now friends, our interest is with respect to carbonic anhydrase because what we are talking is about enzymes. So when you are going to remove the carbonic anhydrase from the reaction, okay, for sure the rate of reaction or the rate of the formation of carbonic acid will be slowed down. No secondary thought in that. Okay, friends, in biochemical reaction, in the absence of enzyme, the reaction not only slows down, but in most of the cases, reaction doesn't happen at all. Right? Say if the carbonic anhydrase component is removed, the enzyme component is removed, CO2 reacts with H2O and H2CO3 formation will be pretty much slowed down, or sometimes H2CO3 formation doesn't happen at all in most cases. So what I try to mean here is, okay, catalyst just brings down the rate of reaction, whereas the enzyme, okay, not only catalyst speeds up the reaction, sorry, catalyst speeds up the reaction, okay, but enzyme not only speeds up the biochemical reaction but also make the reaction happen. So in absence of enzyme, okay, the reaction, most of the cases reaction doesn't happen at all. Okay, so this is a very clear cut distinction you should have between the chemical reaction and a biochemical reaction. Hope this discussion would have given you the basic idea of enzymes. How are enzymes slightly different from the routine catalyst what we see in chemistry, both in terms of nomenclature as well as the other aspects involved in the enzymatic process. Okay, so let's meet in another interesting video regarding enzymes.